Kelly, so good to see you. Thank you for being on. It was the first cohort of the Consistent Client Formula. I just would love to share your experience because you are doing so phenomenally well. You're writing a book, you have your scale school, you have so many exciting things going on that I want to share that with everyone, and I want to tell your story. So can you tell me when you first started, like what were you looking for? What were your main challenges going into this?
Sure. Yeah. I had a lot. I had left corporate. I was doing corporate sales for over 15 years, and I was going through a fertility journey, and I knew I wanted to help other women, but I just wasn't sure how my business was going to help other women. And so I really needed some direction. A friend of mine had said, get plugged into a program. That's the best thing you can do as an entrepreneur. And so I knew that your program was going on, and you're someone that I had worked with in the past. I knew your caliber, and I knew since you had done this before, I trusted you because there's a lot of programs out there online, and I was very leery of investing my time and my money, everything into a program that I knew wasn't going to work or I wasn't going to get benefit out of. So I knew your credibility and your caliber. So yeah, hopped into your beta cohort and was so glad I did. So it helped me not only through the transition from corporate to entrepreneurship. I have an MBA that where I took entrepreneurship classes formally. And so what I was looking to get out of your class was not only cohort support, guidance, help through this transition, setting up my initial business model, but attracting clients and doing that in a systematic way, as well as you have all this training and mindset. And that's something that you don't learn in business school. It's something that you don't learn on the job. And that I was really attracted to. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. So how did I know it's been a continual journey because we still continue to do other things well past the cohort itself. But what were some of the pivotal moments for you or insights that you gained specifically from this cohort or from this experience?
Yeah, so I think I was used to selling in an enterprise environment. So that means business to business. So I was selling to businesses and formulating my offer and doing that initial market research and really finding the market that I needed to engage in. Originally, I was looking at a consumer market, and I was going through a lot of resistance. I felt a lot of resistance there. Even though I have a background in sales, that doesn't mean I can just sell to anybody. And I think had I not had your program, it would have taken me a lot longer, and I wouldn't be where I am today with the scale school, really because I wouldn't have known how to address that resistance I was getting. So you encouraged me to really reach out and approach other women in business, other women in sales. And that really helped me to determine if those women were going to be a good fit for what I could offer, and it allowed me data points and market research that I was not able to necessarily do on my own in a systematic way. So I was able through that market research to really understand, okay, what market do I align with and does have a need for my product or my offering? And so that's how the Scale School was born. And without your support through that resistance, I probably would have viewed that as a negative and, oh, this is not for me, and probably had to go back to my old job or corporate or something. I think you helping me through that resistance to see that's actually a positive, and that's giving me data and insight, and we could dissect what that data and insight was, really helped me move forward to eventually found the course that I'm teaching now in my business.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. That's really beautiful. And I'm really excited for all the people that you're going to get to help too, because we're already seeing, their transformation, even you asking these questions and pushing people in the same way, or not pushing them, but allowing space for their growth in a safe container, right, is so important. And it's really going to change, I truly believe, the face of business, because in the research that you do, especially now with all the research around women and representation, you know how critical this is. So it feels like it's really coming full circle with what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been researching rates of female entrepreneurs, and we know that less than 3% of female founders ever get formal funding. We also know that less than 20% of VPs of sales are female, which is super critical because,
Wow.
as we know, when folks are driving revenue, they really have a voice in the company. And so not having that corporate exposure to driving revenue in a leadership capacity really limits women when they start, if they decide to become an entrepreneur as well, because they don't have necessarily the tools that a lot of men do. So you helping me address those feelings that were coming up early on. I'm somebody who had been to business school, who had sold a ton, who had classes in entrepreneurship, and I still was facing a lot of resistance that I didn't realize would come up through my transition into entrepreneurship. So
Yeah.
without your background in neuroscience and your experience in business and making this transition yourself, I don't know how I would have worked through that resistance and found my jam.
Thank you. That's so beautiful. No, and it's funny because I remember having a conversation with you and you were like, this is a whole different ball game. And yep, it is, because you, and just to highlight your experience, you've sold millions and millions of dollars to some of the biggest companies and medium-sized, smaller companies, right? You work directly with Fortune 500 C-level. You have your MBA. You're becoming a published author. You have all this amazing experience, and still in that growth process, having that space to be able to dissect what is coming up and know that it is not you, but it is some of these more internal patterns that we have that we're healing within ourselves through this process. I think many people miss this. And I think many people, that's why I truly believe this is why you see a lot of businesses fail, because people don't know how to address this. But once you have those tools and now you're understanding yourself, you're applying them in different ways, and we'll continue to work together, you can really start to unlock all of that within yourself and know for certain, like, no matter what I want to do, I can do it. There's literally nothing stopping me. Now I know how to do that. And that's what we're sharing here through this process. And you're exemplifying and you're modeling for other people and your clients too.
I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. It was helpful through your program to understand. I thought I knew what I wanted to do, but when you go to actually do it, there's a lot that comes up that I didn't expect. And so being able to really harness that and use it as almost like ammunition or fuel really propelled me to settle on the business plan, or not settle, but decide on the path forward through really, figuring out which clients were consistently going to be the ones that needed my product or service and that I can offer. So I think I very much thank you for that. I see a lot of female founders that I'm working with now, or that are my peers that I know, and they shy away from asking for the price point they really need, or setting the goal of revenue that their company really needs to be sustainable. And I can work with them to create the roadmap and those milestones. And I'm really good at creating the activities that would make that happen. But helping someone else overcome these mental blocks is a whole new ballgame. And that's something that you do so well, and that I continually rely on you for as I'm growing the business and really good at getting over some of these humps, is to really develop that muscle.
Yeah, such a fun process. And with that, can you share what you do? Can you share where people can find you, how you help people?
Yeah, so I have founded a company that runs, we've just launched a project called the Scale School. It's a quarter-long cohort that's a sales leadership intensive cohort for women who are looking to sharpen their sales skills, or you founded a company and you're looking to scale your sales organization. I'm a high anxiety person. And so I have a framework that I used in my B2B selling and polished it up. And we're implementing it at female founded companies to really scale their sales to the next level through repeatable framework. So it's all about taking the anxiety out of selling through creating a roadmap with very predictable activities and milestones that you need to hit. So I recommend everybody, if they're struggling with their ultimate goal or the revenue goal or anything money related, or just anything coming up for them in regards to their mindset, to go to you, because I feel like I can work with them on the plan and the roadmap, and we will get you a systemic way to get there. But as far as believing in it and really all of the mindset things that come with that, because you can't execute if you don't truly believe. And I'm a testimony to that. So
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I love that proven system. I know you said you used it yourself and you sold millions and millions of dollars with that framework. So it's a proven system, and I'm really excited to see it launched. And yeah, I'm so thrilled for your journey. Thank you so much for your time, Kelly. Where can people find you?
At the Scale School on Instagram, or they can link in with me at Kelly O'Keefe and on empoweredengagement.com.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.